Welcome, everyone, to episode 394 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pentalaresco. I write stuff in Podcast 2. Today, part 2, and concluding conversation with Kathrin Hutson. Man, I enjoyed this. I really, really did. I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I think you guys knew it when you read the end of part 1. Well, we just continued catching where we left off. Kat's a constant reminder to me that old friends are people you should always keep in touch with and not take it for granted. So, Kat, love this. I hope you guys did too. I'm just going to go into the conversation. There's really not too much to say right now. I got things on my mind and my plate, but we'll get to them eventually. Let's just go there, shall we?
This episode of Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint supports creators by creators. Whether you are writing a book or creating a video game, Indie Imprint works with its clients to produce, edit, and present their projects to the world. For more information, check out their website at www.indieimprint.com.
Everything you've accomplished, by the way.
Oh, hey, thank you. It's been some time since we last chatted, and a lot has happened. So thank you.
Yeah, so, you're kicking all kinds of ass. It's awesome, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, and it feels like only maybe 2 months have passed. So
it happens.
It's been quite a bit longer than that.
Just give you you were 187. I've done nearly 180 episodes since we last chatted.
Oh my god.
I know.
It's really been that long.
Now, I'm at 3 a week instead of 2 weeks, so although that's only a very recent addition. We're pretty close to 170 episodes.
That's crazy.
I know. I know. I've met some cool people too. It's wild.
Yeah, so much can happen in just such a short amount of time, and it seems even shorter when there's just everything is happening all at once,
Yes.
But that's cool. It really has. When was it? Was June, July, May?
Last year. It was last. No, it was almost 2 years ago, actually.
What?
I know.
No, it couldn't have been.
No, it aired last year. It did air last year. No, it did not air last year. It aired the year before.
No, it couldn't have.
Oh, hold on. Hold on a sec. I have my list here. I have a list.
Our mutual connection was started beginning of 2019. So how I found you on your podcast is it had to have been last year sometime.
It was last year. It was over a year ago. It was over a year ago. I do know that. It was definitely over a year ago. Because I'm going through it now. You were in the 200s, not the 100s.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. You were two. You were two. I think it was 260. You were in the 200s for sure. I see you at the 100s. It was actually a little earlier than that. I'm looking. I'm at one. About where I thought I had you, in the hundreds. And nope, you're not in those 100. Okay, cool. So you're in the 200s for sure. So you were episode. I can't believe I've done this many episodes. By the way, it's insane.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met so many cool people. Honestly, every time I interview, I forget. I actually interviewed Kelly Armstrong. That year too. It was crazy.
Nice.
I know.
Nice. Yeah.
Right? It was crazy because I never thought I would actually. Hold on a second here. I'm looking to see when exactly we were there, right? And on 281, 282, 283. Okay, you were 286, not 186. So almost 100. So it's been almost 100 episodes as of this point, and this will probably air close to about 100 episodes. So about a year apart.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Gosh, so much has happened.
I know.
Man.
I know.
It's insane. It just goes by so fast.
I moved 5,000 miles since it's about 5,000. Yeah, literally. Holy shit. Right? Holy shit. Yeah, literally. But 5,000 miles. I got a book coming out. So it'll be my 4th book.
Yeah.
Right? I've done over 300 episodes of the podcast. I'm doing stuff. And your first book did really well. And your second book looks like it's going to do really, really well, too.
Yeah. No, this is the second book in the series.
Yeah.
This is my 7th book.
Okay, so you've been doing
yeah.
this, so you're an old pro at this. I should be like taking more lessons from you.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I have in the last year I have written a total of 35 books.
Damn.
But only one of those and a novella actually belong to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
So when I plot like my young adult novel, I actually designed the flowchart like a racetrack.
Huh. Interesting.
Because so I'm a loose plotter in the sense that I know where my end is, I know my beginning. I have some idea how the middle works, right?
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. And
Yeah.
then you just figure out all the fun stuff.
Well, it's not like that. I just find that if I go like on a full plan, my characters laugh at me. There's actually laughter. So
What do you think you're doing?
No. It isn't even that. It's just like, ha, good one. We're going here, huh? Right. And so I've learned, like, although I guess the young adult novel, however, has been the cleanest story. Like I'm writing out the first draft, and it's a complete, like, it's literally a marble dipped in paint going all over the place in terms of just all the ideas I'm throwing into the first draft. But the story beats have been crystal clear. Like, they have not changed, right? And I've never had a story that solid the whole way through. I wrote like the first, I'd say 40,000 words super quick. Like, I didn't have it. I slowed it down when I got to the race itself because it was like, I'm scared to get this all done. But now that we have all this time, it's like, okay, I'll get this all done. Like, I started Cloud Diver 2. I'm working on that. I got a freelance little gig for Prose Press. I got to finish hopefully tomorrow. And that's going to be my goal tomorrow is all the words I wrote today. I'm going to hope to do that again tomorrow so I can finish at least the first draft of it. And and be like done. Yeah. I've been productive. Like, honestly, like I'm not kidding. I said let's make money in this time. I meant it. I was like, let's go make some money. And you know.
Yeah.
But the thing of it was for me, it was always about like in particular with this story, it was like, okay, so this is when I did a little differently. It's like, okay, the middle, I'm just going to throw every idea, good, bad, or indifferent, in here. Because I thought about chocolate chip cookies, and I realized that chocolate chip cookies and chocolate chips were accidentally dumped into cookie dough. And that's how chocolate chip cookies, it was like the coolest accident ever. So, yeah, isn't that cool? So, so, and chocolate chip cookies is awesome. Now, sticky notes are also awesome, but they're not as good of an accident. They're a good accident, but chocolate chip cookies was a great accident, right? And, like, like, no one can argue that Post-it notes are awesome. But, if you had to choose between Post-it notes and chocolate chip cookies, you would choose chocolate chip cookies. I think even the Post-it...
Every single time.
Yeah. Even the Post-it notes guy would choose chocolate chip cookies. He'd be like... You know, I can't blame you. Right?
They're really delicious.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to eat Post-it notes anyway.
No.
Right? So. So. The thing about that, right, is in my ideas, and when I go to draft 2, which will be I'll take the mess and go, that didn't work, that worked, right? That worked. I will find, and I'll take these these good ideas and I'll put them in the draft 2. I'll take these terrible ideas and go cutting room floor, right?
Yep.
And we'll leave them for another time. And but that's I tried I called it the marble art method, is where you just roll the idea around and throw as many ideas. Like, the thing about marble art in kindergarten was it gave you permission just to try as many different things as possible. Right? Yes, there are some things in there that are absolutely terrible, and I acknowledge it. Right? But there are also some things that are absolutely brilliant, and if I didn't give myself permission to do it this way, I never would have found those things.
Definitely. And that's one of the funnest parts, most fun, however it is said, things for me about, very, very, very loose outlines, right? Is that it's all just, it comes together in the process, and some things don't work. I mean, I've had to rearrange endings and move chapters from one book into a subsequent book in a series, and chop things up a bit, and there's been quite a lot that was trashed. I mean, my very first novel ever, I sat on it for 9 years after I finished the first draft, and then ended up cutting like 12,000 words out of it.
Yes.
Because it was just like, you don't need this. Get rid of it. And they will never be used. But that's fine. Because it made things so much better, and I got it all out. And that's the most important part, is you get it all out, you put it all down, and then you get to make it better afterwards. If you don't put it down, you have nothing to work with. Like,
well, well, yeah. So that's the advantage of being the loose outliners. Now, I find, like, I know, like, for me, I learn my characters well, like who they are, because if I don't know who they are, I can't. Sometimes I lose the voice. So then again, this is one of those things I've learned as I've gotten older / wiser. We'll debate the wiser another day, but it's like you have to be true to the character. Now the character, right? What's the point here? How was I going to put this? You have to make sure that the character's true to themselves, no matter where the story goes, and the voice has to be right. Like, I'm writing Johnny in book 2. I literally did a homage to Miss Pac-Man and Frankenstein in a job interview, and it's funny, but I also had to be like, okay, like, I already know in draft 2, I'm gonna make Johnny a little bit over the top when he sees the giant Miss Pac-Man cupcake. It's just because I can. And the fact that I can actually say that with a straight face in a sentence should tell you just how much fun I had with those cloud diaphoneros, right?
It's fantastic. And then the question I have for you is, does Johnny grow a little bit of a bigger pair in book 2?
Not quite. Not quite. Because honestly, part of the fun is he is a coward. That is part of the fun with him. Right. A coward with all the responsibility on his back. It's not like, okay. So I know the last scene, like the climax of the whole series, and I love it because I know when you get there, it's gonna hit you right in the feels, super hard. Yeah. It's a beautiful moment, and without spoiling anything really, it deals with Johnny's cowardice, because it comes to a crux. I love what I do with it, because I know exactly what happens here, what happens in that situation, and it's one of the coolest moments I think in the entire series, and I have it in my head. It's amazing, and I like it. Actually made me tear up when I originally thought of that. It's like, wow, this is going to be really powerful when it gets to the page. Yeah. But the journey to him getting there, he's going to be
takes a lot.
Yeah. Well, no. There's not only that, but just it's no fun if he suddenly becomes brave, right?
No, I didn't mean suddenly. I just meant like a tiny bit. Oh, the fact that he doesn't give up.
No.
At the first sign is
yeah.
Got enough.
No. Like he doesn't. Like, I mean. No, like, that's the one thing about him. Like the one thing I loved in the first book is he had the opportunity to walk away from what he was getting himself into, and he didn't, because it was ultimately because it was the right thing to do. Even though, like, the zombie mobsters and all the other wonderful fun stuff that he had to face was trying to do evil things to him, right? Right. And don't get me wrong, he definitely had his moments where he was like a little girl and crying in the corner and going, I don't want to do this anymore. But
yeah.
But I mean, I would argue that
it's real.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you're never gonna have someone. You're never gonna have someone. What's the term? You're never gonna overcome those natural coward. There's always gonna be a little bit of him that's a coward, always. But it doesn't mean that if given the opportunity, he won't shine. And the trick is, if I make him shine too early, right, then the climax won't be
real.
It's not real, but also the climax won't be as good. Because you're right.
True.
Right. It won't be as good when the climax of the entire series hits. You'll be like, that is one of the most beautiful things ever, and that's like literally I have in my head. It's the most beautiful. Like it's. Someone figured out who the last boss actually is going to be in the series. I was like, you figured it out, right?
I made things predictable.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing for me is I see the ending like you do, and that's where I go from the beginning. But it's never a beautiful moment.
Well. It depends how you define. It depends how you define a beautiful moment. Sometimes, like, the ugly truth is beautiful in its own way, right? But there's a moment of truth with everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a great moment per se. Now, in the nature of my series, it's going to be a happy moment-ish, because let's be honest, I have zombie monsters and unicorns as part rainbows. The tone of my series indicates that it's not going to, I mean, it's going to have moments of darkness, right?
It's going to be weird, and then things will work out.
Yeah.
How can they not?
Exactly. It has to. That's the nature of my series. It can't. I can have like I don't shy from darkness, but it's not necessarily the overriding truth, right? In the series.
Right.
A darker series has the luxury of going, okay, I can go into the deep dark recesses of the human mind. I can get to, oh my God, there's no way out. But that also can be a very powerful moment too, because, I mean, not to get all like grim and morbid, but I mean, ultimately, when we look at the end of our time on this earth, guess what? None of our tricks are going to save us either, right? Whenever we get there, right?
Yeah.
But how?
Grim and morbid is a great place to be, though.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with grim and morbid. But I'm just saying, like, but even in that moment, you can still have heroism, like
There's still hope. There's still hope.
There's
hope for the fact that things will keep happening. You know,
yeah,
the world keeps turning.
Life goes on.
Or maybe it is, but hey.
Hey. Life goes on. In one way or the other, like, listen, when we're long gone, the cockroaches will still be there. And
excellent.
Right? And the spam bots. And the spam bots we created in the digital world will still be in there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we know, so our legacy will be that, probably Pez dispensers, right? And probably Pez dispensers and
an actual spam.
What?
An actual spam.
Possibly. Yeah, you know, spam is a candidate. I'm secretly hoping it's Post-it notes. I'm secretly hoping it's right.
The chocolate chip cookies will be long gone.
Well, then, come on, something as magical as chocolate chip cookies is probably, like, when we go, it will disappear with us, probably. I'm hoping ice cream survives, but chocolate chip cookies is probably going to go with us.
It depends on what kind of ice cream we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the all-natural kind. Yay!
Yeah, well,
anyways.
I mean, just like you know, I like if I were to bet, I would just think ice cream would outlast. God, we're actually debating who's going to survive longer, the apocalypse, ice cream or chocolate. This is an awesome conversation, but yeah, not on I ever thought I'd have, but hey, why not, right?
You are welcome.
Yes, I appreciate it, but I mean, it's like. But again, it doesn't matter how dark the moment is, ultimately. There's beauty in everything. And I think one of the things, right, like any kind of story, no matter what kind of story, medium you use, whatever story you tell, right? There is definitely moments of truth where you can make your person heroic or cowardly or angry or crying, and it can be incredibly beautiful.
Yes. Yes. I fully agree.
Yeah, so I'm binge watching Fairy Tail. That's my series I'm binge watching right now.
Fairy Tail.
It's an anime. What is it? It's about a guild. It's a magical guild. It is a little formulaic. I won't lie to you. That does it not right. Right, especially in terms of the battle animes, but the moments they hit you right in the feels, man, they really hit you right in the feels. They do a very good job with adding so much depth to all the characters they've created. And again, yeah, so there's this one episode I watched a couple nights ago, and it had me in tears. It was a beautiful moment. One of the main characters dies, kind of. I'm not going to spoil it. but right after when she's dying, it hits you so hard. Partly because you have a cute little cat that's crying his eyes out at her dying, but it's also just the theme of how death has been dealt with the whole series, and it's just like, it's really, really good. And then at the end of the arc, you see that character again. They could have ended the series with that ending. It's amazing, and
that's great.
Yeah, they could have ended the series with that because, I'm not going to spoil it because it's such a beautiful, powerful. It doesn't take away from the gravity of what she went through before. It was just that moment where it's just like, that's perfect, and you just tears and right, and it's like, wow. I am a softie in my old age, but out of the same token, wow, right? And it hits you, and you're just like, it's like, okay, they did, like, that's an incredibly, like, for all the formula, for all the, like, the other stuff in there, that's definitely a kid's show, and I don't mind. Again, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm 12. I'm the adult. We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We really, really are. But, again, it's you can do dark moments, and they can be so. Dark Tower, Stephen King.
Dude, you don't even have to say any more than that.
Yeah,
I'm reading it for the 10th time. Right
okay.
now.
Oh God, yeah. So that series, the two that make me cry are book 4 and book 7. Holy shit, do they make me cry? Both of them are beautiful.
I actually got more tears this last time around through book 3 when Roland is teaching Susanna and Eddie how to shoot, and he's like pushing their buttons. Mm-hmm. That made me cry. It's some good stuff. So every time I get to book 7, I'm in tears, and I already know what happens.
Like God.
Yeah.
No. He tears your guts out like halfway through that book. It's just he tears your guts out. It's like, my God, and it's so believable, and their power. Like, okay, I'm gonna spoil this for people. So if you don't want to hear this, skip the next 3 minutes.
Or just go read all 7 books 50 times.
Yeah. Jake. Okay, so the most powerful 2 moments in the series for me are book 4 when Roland's no longer just the man in the gunslinger, the man with no name. When after he tells the story of his first love, he becomes almost a full human being. In that moment, you understand him completely. Yep. He's suddenly no longer this formless face. He's now a human being. And
then he breaks down. I mean, he breaks down completely after telling the story, and after they see, what happened with him and his mom.
Well, my favorite line in that, believe it or not, is when he goes caca. It's like, okay, he's human. No, he's human, and it's a powerful moment. The other one was when they saved Stephen King, and his intention.
That was so fantastic.
But the part for me is like he knew what was coming, and he's like, I'm not letting this happen, and he couldn't stop it. He just couldn't, and it killed him because it wasn't he tried. Like he legitimately, like, this was, you know what? It was almost the reverse of what happened in the very beginning when Jake was sacrificed for his quest for the tower. This time it was different. Roland wasn't willing to sacrifice them. He was willing to die in his place, but fate, and to his lesser extent, Jake himself, no, I'm okay with this. This, unlike last time when there was definitely a discord there with what Roland did. How could someone be so inhumane to do it? Here it's like, no, I love you, and I'm not going to let you die. And Jake's like, I love you too, and I'm going to let you go forward. And it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's nuts. And then oh my God, at 7, and then when Oi is going, that's the part that gets me. Oi is like, wow. Like you see that one, and then you're like. And then you get to the end. I'm not going to spoil the very end. But when you get to the very end, and then Stephen King's like, I told a great tale. You don't really need to read the last chapter. It's like, do you really want to? Stop here if it's happy.
It's happy here. don't go past this. It's like you get to the end, you're like, it is the right ending.
It is brilliant, and I never saw it coming. Like, there's so much build-up, and you get there, and you're like, yes, this is the end, this is the victory, oh my god, it's Ka. Like, yeah, there you go, but then, okay, I need to read this again.
but obviously the true ending of that series is the poem it was based on. That is the true ending. Yeah. That is the true ending. Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. But that's what's done.
Yeah, it was Browning, right?
Yeah. The child will into the dark tower come. That's that was the whole thing this was based on. And it was
so good.
It made me cry. Like but again, some of the darkest, I mean, it was the perfect fantasy tale. It was tales of wonder. There's magical moments. Playing the mono is still one of my favorite little contests in the entire series. I love Eddie and that.
Oh yeah, it's it's brilliant. You know?
Yeah, but then you get then you get to the end. Then you get to the end, and you're like, wow. I mean, you're in tears. Like, I am not ashamed to admit that that series made me weep like a baby at the end. It is not a happy ending.
No, but it fits.
No, it totally does.
Well. It's like, it's just so true, and it's so like, you know, have you read it more than once?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say, like, you know, like, you read it once and you're like, oh my god, this is the end. But then going back through, like, even I just finished Wizard in Glass for the 10th time, so I'm about to move on to Wolves of the Kala, and like, I get something different out of it every single time. And it's been 15 years that I've been reading the series.
Yeah.
And it's just every single time there's something new, and there's like some new discovery about, like, I swear it's like he wrote book 7 before he wrote book 1. Like, that's not true. But it's just so seamlessly woven together. It's insane. It's like blows my mind.
Especially when you get to 5, 6. I knew what the ending. I suspected what the ending was. I really did.
Really?
Yes, I did. I suspected it because I couldn't get past the first line in the series. I'm like, now again, not spoiling anything, because I'm being very careful how I word this. But there was a point I just recognized something about this. It's like, oh, and it was hinted at throughout the entire series that this was a possible ending.
I've been here before. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. And that tells you something. But I mean, the one thing about it is, I mean, even though it is a dark ending, there's hope even in that darkness, and it's like, okay, there's hope. Yeah. That what and again, I'm being very, very careful here, very, very careful. If we were if we weren't recording this, ladies and gentlemen, I would be
talk about this all the rest of my life.
Yeah.
In detail, man.
But I mean, but that's the thing.
Special bond.
But the thing is, it's really tricky, because you got to recognize. I think one of the biggest challenges is when we get to those very, 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 like, those kind of moments. You gotta stay true to the characters, and that's not always an easy thing to do, because you're gonna put, like, there is a part of you in each of these characters, and you're basically putting that part of yourself through hell a little bit, right? And in those moments, and because of that, right? So it's one of those things where I look at it and go, okay, may I be as brave when it's my turn, and I'm hoping I am. Like I said, I got like Cloud Diver 2. There are some big reveals. Cloud Diver 3. There are some big reveals. Cloud Diver 4. There are some big reveals. I could do a Cloud Diver 5, although it would be before Cloud Divers 3 and 4. And be like, okay, so what do I do here? It's like, well, I can have some fun here. Like, just, right, without actually, I can do almost like what I call these, like Dresden Files, some of his books have almost like a typical feel to them. Like, I'm not saying like there isn't revelations in some of them, but there's some that feel like more formulaic than others. And this would be like the perfect formula stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right, and so and I can do one. I have one in me. I could do that. I'm debating it. Like, it would be purer if it was just 4 books, because it would just be all the important meaty bits of it. But there's definitely room for some spin-offs. So.
And that part is just fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just fun.
Yes.
And that's the good stuff. And I, God, yeah, sweet. Talking about, getting into the real intense parts, like with, seeing ourselves and all of the characters from, Dark Tower, or really any really very well written series of books. For the first time when I was writing Sleepwater Static, the one that's coming out at the end of May, I found myself crying like a baby.
Oh yeah.
Writing my own scenes, like not scenes about me, but writing scenes in my own book, and I was like, what is happening right now? Like, I don't do this. This is weird. Why? Like, I'm bawling. I'm just bawling.
Yes.
And gosh, I so hope that other people start crying when they read it too.
Well, that's it. They probably are going to, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, that's when it gets so real. As a reader and as a writer, like when you're feeling all the feels, man, all at the same time, it just gets so super intense, and that's when it feels real. That's when it feels like honesty. When it's like, okay, I'm not. There's no passive aggressiveness going on here.
No, it is what you feel.
Yeah, that's super fun. That's what that is the show of a good book to me, or a good scene, or good characters. Is if I get to a point where I'm like, if I laugh out loud, which for the longest time I didn't understand comedy in film or like TV or skits or whatever, because I thought it was dumb and like, why are all these people laughing out loud? Until I actually got to the first movie that ever made me laugh out loud, and it's still my favorite movie to this day. And then I got it. So if any book makes me laugh out loud, makes me cry, makes me cringe and like get sweaty, and I have to like look away for a minute and take a deep breath, that's what I know it was done very well.
Yes. Well, no.
Most things don't give me a response. So, callous there, but that's how I judge good stuff. As if it makes me feel something that is beyond just being engrossed in reading. It's good.
Well, it has to be real, right? It has to be real, and if you feel it, your readers are going to feel it too, right? And if you don't feel it, then your readers are also not going to feel it either.
Right.
Right. So comedy is much harder though, because comedy, God, you're like, oh, am I just being funny, or am I making an ass of myself? Like, I worry. So Peter Parker's one of my favorite. Like comic book heroes. But some of the things about him is I realized something. Is some of his jokes aren't funny, right? But that's part of his.
Well, that's where he's a nerd.
Well, yeah, no, but it's part of his charm, right? Like he shouldn't like, some of his one-liners are awesome, right? Yeah. But some of them suck, right? Yeah. But they're supposed to suck, right? No one gets humor exactly right. Right. And so when I look at that, it's like I worry about it when I write Cloud Hour, because it does have a very I mean, he pantomimed being a jellyfish, so Lord knows I wasn't taking this seriously in some spots, right? But I'm like, is this one funny, right? Is it being funny, or am I just wanking off to my own humor here, right? I don't know, right? Because humor is hard. Not everybody. Humor is an acquired taste, and some people have it, some people don't. And you're like, oh God, is this? Now it makes me laugh. I think, okay, at the very least, if I'm not for somebody, then maybe it'll be for them. But I'm like, I don't know. Now, everybody that has read the book has said, okay, it's funny. It's legitimately pretty funny, right? So I can't say I'm terrible at the humor, but I'm always, right? Like going, man, I hope I'm being funny, or I hope I'm not being stupid, right? Right? Because that's it. I'm worried that I Peter Parker myself. And then there's a small part of me is like, they don't need to be. They don't need, how do I put this? They don't need to all be perfect singers. In fact, good comedy, there's a highs and lows. Like, some one-liners are good, some things should be just meh, and every once in a while you gotta hit them really good, like really, really hard. Right.
I mean, that's the same thing between writing like hope and light and humor versus writing deep, dark, scary traumatic, like awful things, right? There's got to be a little bit of both. If you don't have something to offset each other, then it's just one constant string, and it doesn't have an effect. You know, like I think the same thing falls for humor. Like there's got to be something that's just like meh, not really, but then that makes the real good stuff that much better.
Yes.
There's a contrast. The contrast is everything. Gotta have it.
Well, yeah, and again, there's an art form to it. Sometimes there's an art form to it. Sometimes it's just, sometimes you're just just fumbling around, especially a team where you're fumbling around in the dark. But it's really important to figure out what your story elements are going to be going forward. And dang, I gotta say, I missed you. Oddly enough, I have missed you.
It's always good. I mean, the first chat was awesome, and the second time did not disappoint, man. It's super great. It's awesome.
I like I said, I like to think of myself as a world-class interviewer. I think I've gotten really good at this stuff. I could be wrong, but I think I'm really good at this stuff. So
you're doing all right. So then I have my next question for you is. Do I seem less nervous this time around?
Yes, actually, a lot less nervous. I think. I'm always amazed people are nervous with me because I don't even really come in half the time with prepared questions. I'm not really worried about it. It's like we're gonna have a good talk. I don't really care what we talk about. We're gonna have a good talk.
Yeah.
Right, and that's my whole attitude, and it's like don't worry, like you don't have to worry about anything. All you gotta do is just be yourself, and if you can do that, I'll be good. You know what I mean?
Good. Right. And that's the thing. It wasn't. I don't think when I came on your show the last time, I wasn't nervous about you specifically.
Yep.
I was so new to the whole.
Yep.
Coming on shows and talking to people and doing anything.
Yeah, like I said, some shows have to be formula by nature. I have the luxury of just like doing whatever the hell I want, and
it's great. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, and I decided that I would, like I said, we haven't really talked about your book very much. Not that I'm against talking about your book very much, but I mean we
can do that.
We totally can. But I'm much more interested in you as a person because I think that's a much more interesting conversation. That's where
the books come from.
Exactly. There's that, but there's also just, I mean, you will have another book coming out somewhere down the road, right?
Yeah.
But
it will never stop.
It will never stop. So I'm not really worried about, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I do like your writing. It's just, right. But I like you as a person. Ergo, I want to talk to you as a person. In the book, if people are listening to this, that they really like you, well, I think the book will sell itself because you're an awesome person, and ergo, your book is probably going to be awesome, and you should definitely pick it up. And that's kind of how my whole approach the whole time. So
it's perfect. No, it's great. No, I love these kind of chats because it is like even like the first time, it's like chatting with a friend, hanging out. There's some mention of like, hey, this is what I do. It's cool, you know. I've got a book coming out at the end of May.
And I do that at the end. And I do that at the end because you got to make money somehow. But I mean, it's one of those situations where it's just like, yeah, it doesn't, like, I don't worry about it. And so like when people do get intimidated by me, I kind of chuckle because it's like, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all. There's nothing to be intimidated about. Trust me. I think it's incredibly funny when people are intimidated by me, and that has happened. You know, pretty much all my life, and I never understood it.
It's your muscles. They're totally intimidating. They're totally.
I mean, dude, they're a lot bigger now than they were last time we talked when you didn't see them at all.
No, so basically, can you spin me over your head?
Totally.
Okay. Can you put me down gently, or are we still working on that?
I have a legit six-pack.
Okay.
Now.
Sweet.
Yeah. Right.
Sweet. I actually. Well, see, I have to be honest with you. The only thing I miss about my day job is I used to lift every day. I enjoyed that. Right. Yeah. But I'm at that point. Like I'm still at that point where it's like I don't need to lift right now. Like I have like zero desire to do it because I've done it for 10 years. I can lift a house if you want me to. I don't really want to, and that's kind of where I'm at now. It's not now. It is starting to happen. I'm going to get the itch to. I don't want to necessarily lift per se, but I want to swim. I want to bike. I am doing a lot of walking.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. I want to do those things more because I find that, again, I've done a lot of lifting for 10 years. And basically, if I really want to get myself in like fully pristine shape, all I really have to do is distance stuff. Some lifting still. I still have to do some, right? But if I was doing swimming, I could actually forgo a lot of that lifting crap and just cut back on my sugar. I'd have a six-pack, and I'd have a six-pack abs that would just blow your mind, like totally. And I'm not stealing that from the song at all. But I mean,
Washboard style.
Yes, but it's one of those things where just like I could do it, like, and it's kind of one of those small little goals. I enjoyed being physical in the job. I still kind of want to be physical in the job, but it's just at this point. At this point in my life, it's more like, I don't want to, I'm not crazy about the idea of lifting weights. I'm not really crazy about the idea of lifting heavy objects. I can. Lord knows I've done it. Right? But I don't really need to or want to at this point. And if I don't...
And then so why?
Yeah.
Why do it if you don't want to? Yeah.
Yeah, but I can still pick you up over my head. I don't know if I can spin you anymore. I'm a little out of practice, but I mean, putting you down gently. I think so. So I don't know.
That's cool. I can land on my feet.
Okay. Excellent. You got that nailed down.
Yeah.
Oh man. See, and this is what I like about you. It's like you take me about as seriously as I should be taken, right? So. But
yeah, you're welcome again.
Yes.
That's what I'm here for.
It's good.
Spread it around.
That's right. I am totally not someone that should be taken too seriously, right?
No, I'm not either. I mean, I make a lot of jokes and I laugh a lot. Obviously, if anyone has been counting my laughing moments through this conversation, I laugh quite a bit. Yeah, I'm not to be taken seriously either, unless I'm writing something.
Yeah. Well, and then it's go time. Then it's go time.
Yeah.
So, Miss Kat, we should definitely just talk more in general. I think I enjoy chatting with you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Just hit me up.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
Always available, but.
No, I know. We got to make this more of a thing because I do like you, and you're like a pretty straightforward person, and I honestly, you're good at what you do, and I it's like so.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
yeah. No, I feel the same way. It would be super fun,
Yeah. Well, we were gonna hang out this year at When Words Collide, but that's not gonna happen, so we have to wait till next year. So.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna move to Mexico, but that's not gonna happen either. So I'll still be around.
Well, I wouldn't blame you. I'm just saying. I understand. I've considered something like that. Something like that has hit me. If this doesn't work out, this is what I'm doing. I'm heading to a beach. I'm going to get myself a boat and I'm going to fish because I don't need very much in my life. The only terrible, dirty old man thing I'll be doing is probably hitting on women half my age. And I'm okay with that. It's like one of those things like, that's my cross to bear. So be it.
Yeah, you won't be the only one.
Oh God, no. God, no.
I can't say that I know what it's like to even pretend to imagine being an old man hitting on girls half my age.
No. It's okay. I know some dirty old women too. It's all good, right?
Well, that I probably.
Yeah. I totally could see it with you. I tell you it's like. What's she hitting on? I don't know. Whatever she likes to hit on, I guess. It's like, what's she going to do? She's probably going to be dirtier than I am. Because, listen, I talked to some romance ladies. Man, they have dirty minds. It's awesome, but they have really, really dirty minds.
Yeah, romance ladies, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's just,
I don't do that, but
No, but I mean, I do see like again, we talk about not giving a shit as we get older. That filter will just come off more and more and more as you get older. It's like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. You know?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the day when I can like legitimately put down my filter again. Like I have a 3-year-old, so there are things that are like she has dropped the F-bomb. Like, perfect usage. Like she's upset with me. I'll tell her like, hey, you can't be doing this right now, buddy. I'm sorry. Like we gotta stick to the plan, or you need to be listening, whatever. And 3 times now, she's just been like, and she just dropped the F-bomb at me in anger. And it took everything I had to just not like keep a straight face.
Yeah. You gotta be
just like raise an eyebrow, like, what are you doing right now? Without being like, oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. We don't say that word. Then, like, she forgets about it. And that's what I have to do, because this kid remembers everything. So she has used it 3 times in just perfect form. Like, at the exact, like, yes, that is exactly how I would use it. Even though I do everything I can not to use language around my kid, because who wants to do that? But I'm really excited for the time when I feel like, okay, you're coming into your own. Cuss if you want to. I don't care. I'm gonna cuss all the time.
Oh, well,
I used to before you were born.
It's interesting when they reflect like they do you better than you do, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh. So the funny thing is that she does me in terms of like, so she's 3. She's reading at a 2nd grade level, and she's wearing 6-year-old clothes, which is like, she's totally blows my mind. She's such a smart kid. She's going all out. She's super nerdy. She loves to tell stories. She loves to read stories. Like, it's perfect. And then from her dad, she gets all like the sarcasm and the manipulation and like the, oh, you want me to do this thing? This is what you want me to do? Okay, I love you very much. I'm going to do the exact opposite, just to see how pissed off you can get about it. Like, it's incredible. It's great. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the point where I can be like, yeah, I can't keep anything from you anymore, because you're old enough and you're smart enough to figure it out for yourself. So I'm just going to go back to my old ways.
I can stop fully pretending. It's like, yes!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's not a lot of pretending with her anyways. We've had some really frank conversations about tons of life things.
3 years old. So she's going to have more together than you at like 6. It's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's all good.
She's heading there. Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
Oh, it's good. She's already cracked open some of my books.
Oh,
yeah, right?
Okay.
Because, I keep those around the house, and she's like, oh, this is Sleepwater B, Mommy. You wrote this, right? Yes, I did. I'm going to find some words in here that I know. And it's just at that point, like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. It's not really a kid book, but there's just something in me that's like, I cannot keep my own child from exploring literature in any form. So by all means, carry away. And she's just like, this is the word the. Don't look too hard. Please. It's great.
She's gonna be smarter than you in the 3 years. So enjoy this while you still can.
I know. She's already smarter than me. She remembers everything. She's already like, I have blasted my memory to smithereens. So, it's not hard to do.
So good.
But she's getting there. Yeah.
Yep. Your daughter's awesome. I look forward to the day I meet her.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Cat, I think we have an interview here.
We have a what?
We have an interview, I think. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, no, it's all good things put together.
Yeah, so and we ended with your daughter. With your daughter, it's probably already smarter than me, but going to be smarter than you too, which is all good.
Yeah.
All good. That's amazing, and I'm glad she's in your life. By the way, what's her name? What's her actual name? If you don't mind my asking.
Rory Skywalker Hudson.
Rory Skywalker?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
That is
legit.
her name.
Okay. So, Miss Rory Skywalker, nice. If you ever listen to this, hi. But you got a book coming out. So why don't you talk about your book and where people can find you, and we can wrap up the recording part of this anyway.
Yes, I'll do that. So the book that's coming out is Sleepwater Static. That is book 2 in the Blue Helix series. It's LGBT dystopian sci-fi. Book 1 was my international bestseller and award-winning sci-fi finalist in the 2019 International Book Awards. So book 2 will hopefully live up to that reputation. Like I said, coming out on May 26th. It will be available where all good books are sold. Amazon, Apple Books, Kobo, Barnes & Noble. And I can be found at KathrinHutsonFiction.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Kathrin Hutson Fiction, and on Twitter at Exquisitely Dark. There I am.
Just Joshing is sponsored by Wall of Wishes by Susie Vidori.
And
Wall of Wishes is the conclusion of the Aurora-nominated trilogy by Susie. Ada and Courtney are forced to join forces as the school and the fountain are in danger of going away forever. And if the fountain is destroyed, what will that do to Ada and Courtney? Wall of Wishes is available now at Owl's Nest Books. Click on the link in the description below to place your order. That was my conversation with Kat Hutson. Sleepwater Static is available now. I am genuinely proud of what Kat has accomplished. And Kat, listening, I hope you're doing well. You are a wonderful human being, and I'm glad I got to know you. I get to know you. I'm glad we click as well, and I wish you nothing but continued success. And thank you, more than anything else, for pushing me to be better. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I recognize the fact that I have to get better too. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I am truly a believer in patterns. Like, patterns dictate life. That's just the way it goes. It's just the way it is. I've learned that what you do every day reflects kind of in the long run. It plays a story. It plays things out. For example, I've been looking at solving a long-term problem in terms of paying people by getting myself a part-time job. And to do that, I have been working on a variety of things. And I'm starting to see results. Like I said, I'm getting phone calls more now. The economy's coming back. I mean, this is a great short-term deal. Long-term, though, I have to focus more on the things that matter to me. And like I said, this month has been about breaking habits. 50-50 on it. 50-50 on it, to be perfectly honest with you. Working on it. And I think I'm getting better at it. But I still got a long way to go. That all said, I'm really hoping that the Alice Zero stuff is done Saturday. I'm just trying to get this done this week because I know next week is going to be a lot trickier for me. So yeah, I'm just doing everything I need to do. That will do it for this episode of Just Joshing, all things considered. I think, yeah. So Storytime returns this weekend. I should actually wrap this up. Dave Butler's my reading guest, and I hope people have been enjoying them. Chapter 5. I'm actually kind of curious to what you guys want me to do for when the Cloud Diver is finished. So this is a question, and then I'm going to wrap up the show. And it's this. Would you rather I come up with something completely brand new just for the show? In which case, I have a couple ideas. Or would you rather I read from my next work? I might do an Alice Zero premiere for a month. A little bit. I might read Alice Zero for a month. But outside of that, I don't know what to do after that. My next book won't quite be ready. I mean, I could definitely read from it. I'm not afraid to. It'd be kind of neat. But I also could, theoretically speaking, work on something completely brand new for the podcast. So let me know what you think in the comments. Outside of that, guys, that'll do it for this episode of Just Joshing. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so in a number of different ways. Subscribe to the podcast. I'm on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. I'm on every platform known to man. Tell the people. If you like this episode, tell the world. If you don't like this episode, also tell the world. Why not? Outside of that, buy my books. Cloud Diver is available now. Watch Your Sermon and Wandering God are available at Miracle Publishing. All in all, there are ways to support me, and I appreciate all of them. So, If you do, great. My YouTube channel is Josh Pentelresco. You can subscribe there. I have merchandise and a newsletter to subscribe to as well. I will get to the newsletter this weekend, I promise. My Facebook page is Joshua Pentelresco, author podcaster. My Twitter and Instagram is at jpentelresco. Come say a follow, come say hello. Stay inspired. Keep chasing your dreams. Now, like last time, I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of Jason Lavelle reading. They'll wrap things up. So check out his book Echoes in the link below as well. Take care, guys.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Jason Lavelle, though for those of you who follow me on social media, you may have noticed that I am transitioning to the name J-A-E. But for now, either Jay or Jason is fine with me. So I'm going to read you a little passage from a story today, but I want to tell you about it first. Now, everything I write is personal. I pull little bits and pieces from my life, the people around me, stories that I've been told, experiences that I've had, and kind of from down in the depths of my own inner psyche. And so, when you read, one of my books, you're always getting a little bit of me with it. But this short story that we're going to be talking about today is by far the most personal thing I have ever written. It was born out of my own confusion and fear. It was inspired by my family, the love that they have, and the loss that they've experienced. This was a really difficult story to write. And so when you hear it and when you read it, I really hope that you can feel me, because there truly is a lot of me in here, kind of laid bare with all of my ugly emotions. Now, after I finished writing this, I really didn't know what to do with it. It's not a horror story. It's not an action thriller. There are no killer spiders, no pandemic causing the apocalypse, and there are no paranormal elements. So I was kind of confused about what I should do. This story was a way for me to dredge up a lot of emotions and feelings and grief and try to sort it out for myself. And anyone who has experienced grief knows that it can be a confusing process and a difficult process. But right now, I'm going to be releasing this on its own. I'm going to be selling it for $2 in the hopes that I can raise funds for those fighting against injustice in our country. All proceeds from this book, every single penny, will be donated to Feed the Movement, a small group of individuals based in Charlotte who provide hot meals, snacks, and drinks to all of the people fighting for justice. That includes those on the front lines of protests, those doing jail support, homeless and housing insecure individuals, black and brown folks, and any and all freedom fighters doing the work to liberate all people from the oppression of capitalism, police brutality, racism, sexism, xenophobia, queerphobia, transphobia, and misogyny. I think that this is a very good cause and a very important one. I think that all of us recently have been made much more aware of the horrific injustices.
Josh, shush.